Recently I made $4,000 profit from Xrading.com by achieving the 20% target on the first stage using the multipairs and the FX stabilizer. Just when I scaled to the second stage, I received the payout. I started the 20k account, but then the multipairs account failed. But as I like to say, every failed account teaches us something, and with this one I learned a lot and I will share it with you. And if you just for a second check if you subscribe to the channel, because it turns out that we can keep testing more EAs on live and funnet accounts only if we have more subscribers, and it is free, just one click of the mouse. Thank you. So right in here is the track record of the MultiPair EA. You can see that very slowly and steadily it reached the 13,111 as a balance, which is over $1,000 above the target from Xrading.com, and then the account scaled and I started trading on $20,000 live account. You can see that I was trading the Swiss yen, the Euro CAD, Euro yen, Euro dollar and pound dollar. Pretty equal exposure between those, and the lowest exposure we had with the Swiss yen, which unfortunately turned out to be the dark pair in this portfolio. But before I show you what happened on the 20k account, I had this account actually with my FX Markets, one of the two brokers that Xrading.com works with, and I had the $1,000 account. So once I purchased the account, I received 9,000 as incubator amounts. Then I'm trading the 10k. Once I reached 20% or 2,000, and actually in this account I went above 30% in the previous month, I received a profit split of 80%. And if I show you my FX Markets and the withdrawal, it was exactly $2,361. That's exactly how much hit my account, and obviously I have recovered the initial investment of $1,000, actually made much more. But unfortunately on the second stage, right in here, I had this drop, and this one happened with the pair Swiss yen. If I show you the closed orders, and I'll just arrange them according to the close date, you will see those losses over here that happened with the Swiss yen, and there was not enough margin in the account, and all of these losses exceeded the allowed 10% drawdown. So number one is I should have asked my team to lower the risk even further. Even though at the end of the first stage, when we exceeded the 20% target, I said, okay, let's lower the risk now because we are already above the target. We don't need much more than that. Number two is one of my team members placed the wrong set file on the Swiss yen, but even though it was with the correct set files, there is a little bit of a difference. I still believe that this would have happened because there are many opened positions for the Swiss yen, and I'll show you in a second the live account. And just when we have 10% drawdown, we can handle that. And number three, we missed to put the account protection, which so far we've been always putting to 9.5%. So if there is a drawdown, the EA will stop just before losing the account, which is also useless, unfortunately. So let me show you the conclusions and the hard learned lessons from this account. So this is a live account where I'm trading the multipair, and it's trading just with 0.01 for all the currency pairs, right? You can see the open trades, you can see the history. If I show you the track record, you will see right in here, I've already requested actually $500 of a withdrawal from this live account. And if I show you the track record, you will see a very steady growth. Actually, one time we requested $274, the next time $242, and now we are going again towards the 20% withdrawal time, as I call it, because every time a live account reaches 20%, I withdraw the profits. And if I show you the equity, you will see that the current equity, which is exactly with the Swiss yen. So right in here, I'll show you that there are open positions positions with the Swiss yen, but all of them with 0.01, while on the second stage of trading.com we were trading it with 0.20, which is 20 times more. And you can see that for the live account there are no issues prior to that, but because we allow 50% for all of our live accounts, it just recovered and there are no problems. So number one is just to use lower risk with this EA or lower lot size. Each currency pair also has a different trailing stop and input, so make sure you use the correct set files for each currency pair. And probably already noticed that there is a join button right below this video for the VIP club, and if you decide to join you will access all of our set files for all of the accounts that we trade, so you can download them and use the same settings as we do for the funded and for the live accounts. But this is not a recommendation, guys. We don't want to ever recommend risk or specific inputs. Just many of you were asking for it, so we decided to add it for the VIP members, which are more experienced traders and they fully understand the risk and the responsibility when they use someone else's set file or recommendation from the vendor. When you put the EA on your account, it's only your choice and risk you are taking. So make sure you backtest the expert advisor and use the appropriate set files according to you. And number three, as I said, is the account protection. Now, and here we keep it 50%, or that's the maximum loss in the account we allow because this is a live account. Now let's for a second imagine this was the second stage or any funded account where we have 10% max drawdown. And so far with the team, we've been putting it to 9.5, meaning that we want to stop just before we lose the account. But what happens then is we have just 0.5%, or in this case it's like $50 left, or even it's a little bit higher, $100. It's not enough to recover the account. We don't leave room for the expert advisor to recover. So we will be further evaluating and testing, and for now probably we will set it to 7%. Of course it depends on the backtest of the EA, how much was the max drawdown in the past. But if this is a funded account and we set it to 7%, and if there is a drawdown that hits the 7%, I'll still have 3% left to give this EA a chance to recover. Because if we leave it just 0.5% or even 1%, it's like you start a new account with 1% drawdown. Can you imagine that? That's really impossible. That's worse than what the prop firms offer with the 3% daily drawdown, right? So for the near future, we will be doing it with 7% for the funded accounts, and we will stick to 50% for the live accounts. And this is our risk tolerance in algo trading space. It's not financial advice or recommendation for everybody. Did the MultiPair EA fail? I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. In my opinion, I failed and my team because we used too high risk. We didn't set properly the set files that we had from backtesting it. And number three is we didn't put a reasonable account protection, and that's for all of our accounts, right? So now we are updating all of the accounts to 7% max drawdown because it just doesn't make sense to use 9.9 or something like that. And that's when you start the account, right? When it's a fresh new account, because with trading.com we have a static drawdown at 9,000. Once the balance grows to, let's say, 10,500 or even 11,000, then you can go to 10% or 12% in the inputs of the EA, because still you will leave 2 to 3% for a second chance for the account to recover. I want to show a track record where we are trading it on $100,000, and you can see that still the open trades are in there. Here we are trading with 0.1 lot in 100k, which is much more reasonable, and we have a floating loss of just 2,000, which is just 2%. So that's just within the backtest expectations. So lower the risk, Make sure you backtest it yourself and put the right set files according to you. And number 3 is, if you use account protection, leave some space for the EA to recover the account and to give it a second chance. As always, guys, I thank you so much for watching the video until the end with me. I'll keep sharing profits and losses because I want to be really transparent with you. We are also humans, we also make mistakes, but the important thing is to learn from them. Before you go, guys, check out this video on my site to learn more about the FX stabilizer, which is the other EA that reached the 20%, and so far it's doing okay, but we already reduced the risk in there. As always, I love you, trade safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.